One of the things I was shown on the other side was that most of us living today are living in the end times. But the end times are the end of all these silly prophecies. That's what's coming. And I'm talking legitimate old prophecies, not conjured New Age prophecies. Those don't count right now. They just don't count.
According to The Express, mysterious writings of Newton's were discovered in 1969 in the home of Britain's Earl of Portsmouth, a family distantly related to Newton. Newton had in fact calculated when the world would end. According to Newton, quote, "The ruin of the wicked nations, the end of weeping and of all troubles will take place in the year 2060.
He is the last prophecy that I consider legitimate in the old school, and he predicted the end of the world in 2060 from all of his calculations. In fact, you want to be here and you want to have heaven on earth. That's the true joy. Now, being on earth without spirit is hell, and being on the other side without a body is not all it's cracked up to be. But putting the two together is the perfect situation. And so many of the philosophies, because of our dark and torturous past, say you got to get out of the body as soon as possible. Not true at all. Your biology is sacred. Our ascension, as I learned on the other side, from the Gaia perspective, is a very natural evolution of dense being into more subtle, enlightened being. Already at the quantum level, the human body is so very subtle. No two atoms touch. We are more spirit than flesh, always have been, always will be. The journey from the outside to the inside, from the inside to the outside, from anywhere to here is an impossible journey that happens every day, in every way, everywhere.
I'm on the next level. 결국엔 내가 부셔. Next level. Cosmo attack.
Настоящето видео е отказ от лекторията "Духът на гея" на Мелан Томас Бенедикт, който през 1982 година умира от рак в мозъка и се връща след час и половина към живота на Земята със спомените на едно от най-проучваните близки до смъртта преживявания. Излекуван спонтанно и напълно от рака, Мелан живее и твори на планетата до 31 март 2017 година, като не спира да контактува със светлината и е наречен енциклопедия за живота от Дипак Чопра. Повече за Мелан като творец и изобретател потърсете в описанието под видеото.
The end is near. How many times has that been said through history? I've traced it all the way back to the beginning of time. 11, 11, 11, 10, 10, 10. It just goes 9, 9, 9. It just goes on and on. It goes on to thousands of years BC, you know. But what it is something the light has told me, and that is, in our lifetimes, it is the end of prophecy as we've known it. It's the end of the world prophecies. And I can do a whole talk just on the end of the world prophecies. You know, just that alone is interesting, and it's never happened, has it? Prophecy is always meant to happen now. It's not meant to happen 2,000 years ago. That's a cut and paste job. I've been hearing about the end of the world since I've been born. When you believe these things, they affect your immune system. For me, I believed early on, because I didn't believe in a traditional God or anything like that, I believed that nature had gone wrong, created a malignant cancer on planet Earth called humanity. And that became my worldview and my heart of hearts. And guess what I developed? I developed a brain cancer. Your worldview is very important to your health. So many of you that have chronic health issues and other health issues, really check your heart of hearts. The seed of your disease is probably there. Check your worldviews, and please do not spread bad ideas. The worst thing you can do to another human being is spread bad ideas that you yourself don't even know are true. I mean, how many times we spread all this end of the world stuff and this conspiracy stuff? You have no idea. Although all evidence, mentally, physically, and spiritually, show that positive thoughts regenerate, negative thoughts degenerate. Get it? Where's the payoff? And the world is still here, you see? The world is still here, moving on, becoming more positive all the time. That's what a lot of people have lost the sight of. And it surprises me in all the places I go that spiritual people have kind of lost this sight too. There is much more, infinite more good in the world than there is negative going on. And what we call negative really needs to be re-examined in other ways. So I want to remind you of one that I find fascinating, harmonic convergence. Most of you were here then. Remember it? What happened? Oh, come on. Everything happened.
Come on, everybody. Come on, come on.
Okay. I want to remind you, everything happened. What's interesting is the harmonic convergence was before the internet and before really most people even had satellite television. But millions of people around the planet meditated for evolution, meditated for, go to the next level. And I'm telling you, it worked. Look at this. Right afterwards, fall of the Berlin Wall, collapse of communism. The internet gets going for home users. Turning point in civil rights for deaf people. You may not find that important, but it's important for a lot of people. It was a turning point in history. They were considered dumb. In fact, the word was dumb. Turning point, they got rights. Scientists finally officially warn of global warming. It's been all politics since then. And Hubble telescope was put up, which opened our eyes to see the beginning of time. End of the Cold War. One of my favorites, the Jerry Seinfeld show got started. Personally, that was big for me. We landed on Mars. The first clone happened. The British gave up Hong Kong. It just goes on and on. The other thing is that because we have satellite internet now, 2012 seems bigger than it is. There is no exact date for anything. There is only mass potential of events. And this is the only way you can get kind of a view of the future. What has been the mass potential of events? There's no particular date for any of this. But the mass potential of events has always been transcendence, actually getting better and better no matter what happens, from snowball Earth all the way to the present. That's the real pattern, is transcendence. The pattern isn't death and ruin. We're better off now than we've ever been, and I know that shocks some of you to hear that, but we're going to explore that a little bit. Berlin Wall was a symbol of absolute death. It ended with a party and fireworks. That's what I expect to keep happening. So what's going to happen after 2012? I expect something big and something good. There's always going to be, troubles, in the world until we self-initiate. But the Berlin Wall, which was a symbol of death in the Cold War, the symbol of the whole Cold War, you got near it, you got killed. It was horrible. And our government and every other government spent billions and billions of dollars over this kind of negative thinking. And now, about prophets. Prophets have been more wrong than they've ever been right, but who's been the most accurate at predicting future trends in the history of the world?